everyone, I'm Katie Mixon. Today I'm really excited to be sharing with you some of my best tips for a sustainable fall. As a minimalist, sustainability is a really important thing to me for several reasons. The first, obviously, is just that I want to be sustainable. I want to make an effort at least to be more eco-friendly and to not do things that are harmful to the earth. However, sustainability also ties in really well with minimalism. As a minimalist, I'm trying to only have or own things that I love or that I use. And by choosing items that I love and will reuse year after year, I'm able to decrease waste. Also, by choosing to use more natural items as decor, for example, then I don't end up having to store those items for the next year. And so that also creates a lot more space in my home and fits in really well with minimalism. So the first tip I have for you today is to reuse your jars. A lot of times, especially in the fall, your groceries perhaps come in really cute little jars, and if you save those and wash them out, you can reuse them for candles or for Christmas gifts. There's a variety of different things you can use jars for. So by stocking up on those now will really prep you well for the holiday season. Rather than going out to the dollar store or the craft store and purchasing those jars to use in crafts later, just wash and save those now and you'll have a great selection. If you're struggling to get the labels off, the best thing that I've actually found is using some lemon essential oil. If you saturate the label with lemon essential oil and then let it sit for a few minutes, it will come right off. The essential oil just does a really great job of dissolving that glue. The second tip I have for you is to use natural items as decor. There's a lot of different ideas for this. You can bring in branches from outside. You can dip fall leaves in wax and hang them up. There's all sorts of art projects you can do or that you can do if you have children. And you can use those outdoor natural materials such as leaves and pine cones or acorns and use those items as decor in your home. This way, at the end of the season, you're easily able to compost it. It also brings in that just beautiful outdoorsy fall feel into your home, and you don't have to store it for the next year. The third tip that I have for you involves pumpkins. So many of us like to use pumpkins as decor, whether that's for jack-o'-lanterns or just as pumpkins for our front steps or front porches, etc. While it's wonderful that we're using a vegetable item as decor, because it does not need to get stored, the waste from these pumpkins, if you don't end up using them, is actually quite high. What I like to do is to use them as pumpkins and then I'll cut them up and bake them. You can cut them in half or in more pieces than that if they're extra large. Scrape out the seeds, and then I like to sprinkle them with cinnamon and bake them at about 450 until the flesh is soft and able to be poked with a fork. At this point, I'll scrape it out and put it into my blender, and then I will use it in pumpkin recipes all fall and winter long. You can then compost the skins. You can also roast the seeds or whatever you like to do with those. And that way we're not wasting those pumpkins that we're using as decor and they're not going into the landfill. If your pumpkin is carved into a jack-o'-lantern, just be sure to carve it just before Halloween so that it doesn't get bugs or mold in it. And the day after Halloween, then you can go ahead and bake that pumpkin. The fourth tip I have for you involves one of my favorite things to do, which is actually thrifting and shopping secondhand. If you're looking for decor or perhaps costumes, the thrift store is a really great place to look. You can find other people's decor that they perhaps weren't loving for their home, and you can bring it into your home for a fraction of the price and also give that item a second life. You can also use clothing or costume items from the thrift store, giving those a second life as well. Some things would require more creativity than others, but I always think it's fun to see what I can come up with using only secondhand items. While you're at the thrift store, be sure to also keep an eye out for holiday gifts. This is a great time to begin looking and to perhaps find some of the things that you had in the back of your head as potential Christmas gifts secondhand, which will save you a lot on your Christmas budget and again is much better than purchasing new. My final tip for you today for a more sustainable fall is to keep in mind as you're enjoying your fall coffees and your pumpkin spice lattes that a lot of coffee shops are doing or bringing back again, bringing in your own cup. So be sure to bring your favorite reusable cup with you when you go to buy your seasonal coffees. I'd love to hear in the comments down below what your favorite sustainable tip is for the fall season. I'm sure there's a lot of awesome ideas that I haven't thought of or touched on in this video, and I'm always looking for new ideas as well. So I'd love to make that comment section an awesome resource for those watching so that they can get even further tips than just the 5 that I shared today. Be sure to like this video down below and subscribe to my channel so that you can continue seeing awesome videos. If you ring that little bell button, you'll get notified every time that I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy fall, and I'll see you very soon in the next video.